Hello, hello, hello. This is Angela with Dogwood Paper Arts, and I am back to refilm page 5 and 6 because when I lost my computer, I ended up not only losing my whole computer and everything in it, although I did actually send my files to the cloud, so I was able to save a lot of that. However, when I lost the computer to the major shutdown of its memory, it also took with it this page and this page. So I no longer have those videos, so I have to refilm them. I'm going to go over the base part of these pages with you, and you can take a good look here at how I finish them, because I don't want to spend all that extra time on matting these. So I'll just kind of go over it with you. I cut out one of the birds and put him on here. And I added a stamp. Remember, I said I was trying to add a little bit of color in to each of the pages to give it a little pop of enthusiasm, maybe. I did do this band nice and fat this time, and I put magnets here as well as up here so that it would hold a lot better. So I covered these, and we'll go over the cutting here in just a minute. I'll give you some dimensions. On the inside of them, I applied little photo mats, and I matted them with, oh, there's kind of a separation there, isn't there? I need to put something in there. I matted them with the cream color and the black as the background. And same way down here. And then on each page, we have the scroll work. Now I have went ahead, I think I still had the video on the scroll work, and hopefully I've showed that to you already. If not, you remember from when we did the one back in the beginning, page 1 had scroll work. It's the same process. And we're double matting them. And we've cut it long enough to be sandwiched in between this flap or flippity flop and this page below it. We'll glue those together as well. Now remember, when you cut your papers, that if you cut the envelope out or whatever you cut out here, don't forget to put in these rivets to stop this from tearing this way and that way as you're using it. Inside of this pocket, I made this cute little doodad. It's 2 tags. I put them together with a brad, and inside I put some tickets and a little tiny recipe card, and I put in these little tiny letters. Let's see here if I can pull one out. Oh, they're so tiny. So tiny. It's just a little tiny letter that you can write some little notes on or whatever. Just kind of cutesy. I love cutesy. So I made 2 of those to go inside of this. Now, this recipe card came from the back of a recipe card package, which had like 16 recipe cards in it. So that's what that came from. I just cut it off the back page and was able to use it as a miniature. Always love that. Anyway, both of these little envelopes have little letters in them. So anyway, you'll want to remember to cut those rivets. Now I haven't done anything on this one. I just kind of left it plain to match this here on the fronts of these. This one I stamped. I stamped with several stamps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 different stamps I used on it. So here I just put in a little pocket, a little tuck pocket, and inside of that I put a tag. And then as we go inside of here, they're just fold-outs for photographs. And in the middle here we've put a belly band. And I sort of offset it in one of these albums, but not in the other. I think offsetting it might be a little bit better, but it really doesn't matter because we put an adjustment on our, what do you call these? On this closure. I put a 1/4 inch expansion here on the edge. Right there. 1/4 inch on both ends. I also secured these hinges with bookbinding cloth to strengthen them up. I really, really like that idea. It has really reinforced these flip-flops that will get used a lot, These, I don't reinforce those. They're more evenly flipped and folded. These are more easily twisted and turned because they're so much thinner. So anyway, I am reinforcing those with book cloth. Both of them. So there's that. So let's get busy on this page. And anyway, you can refer back to the beginning here to take a look at everything that I have done to cover the pages. And we're going to go over that right now. And I'll give you instructions as I go. Of course I will. And let's see, let me move my water over there. That's my dimensions for the Roses and Lace album. Okay, ready, set, go. I'm not going very fast. Okay, base page. So you already have your base pages. Now I've just cut out a single here, but it is the same size. It just doesn't have the tunnel. And it's because I have to redo this page, and I don't want to do the whole thing because I don't want to waste paper. Okay. I think I have that, and I have that. Okay, so our base page, remember, we're going to leave a little edge around it and draw our line and cut that off there, and we're going to do the same way down this way. Let's see. Oops, wrong end. Okay. So we have this. Don't glue it down yet. And what else do we have? We have to make a belly band. Don't make it out of that. La-di-da-da, la-di-da. Not that one. Not that one. Well, I'm going to cut it out of just a plain black piece of paper. It's not the artisan cardstock. And I made it just slightly wider than this ribbon. And it was just to reinforce it, really, because it was so, it was too flimsy. The belly band was too flimsy. That's my chair rolling around. My cutting mat is across from me, about 2 foot, 2.5 feet, 3 feet away. So let's score 1/2 inch here. Grab this smaller scoring one. What doesn't Angela do with her scoring tools? 1/2 inch. Alrighty. I gotta look at that page again. Oh, and then we scored another 1/4 of an inch. So score at 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch. 1/2 and a 1/4 inch more makes it 3/4. Oh, that's the hinge on the closure. I'm sorry. We are talking about the belly band, which we don't need to do that. There we go. Okay. So just measuring up for the belly band right now. I'm going to go ahead and center it. I think it'll be fine. Going to have to score it right about there. Okay, that is a little bendy. I think I scored it just a little too tight. We're going to loosen it up just a little bit. Okay, that should fit better. Yes, voila, it fits better. Okay. Cut about 1/2 inch here. Oh man, I forgot to fill my glues. And they're both just about empty. So we may get a lesson in filling your art glitter glue. I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay, on the belly band, remember to remove the wires. They have these little tiny wires in them. So you can use wired lace and stuff. You want to make sure that it will pull out semi-flat, of course. I'm going to throw those wires away, and hopefully my kitty does not decide that he wants them. I'm going to apply some tape here and put this down on here. So that it will lay down on here really nicely and stay a little more firm. And I'm going to also do that on this side, right next to the, close to the side of the ribbon, just to kind of take any wrinkles out of it. I don't know if we originally did that or not. Boy, wasn't I surprised when I discovered that my 2 videos were missing. Ha! Getting ready to load them to YouTube and not there. As well, my friend, I went to look at oh rats, what is it? Oh, I listened to one of my other videos, and the video is there, but there's no voice, no sound at all. So I have to do my first voiceover. I'm a little nervous about that one. I won't know what my hands are telling you. You know, they're wiggling all the time. Sheesh. But I'm going to give it a good go, and we'll see what I come up with. And who knows, it might be the funniest video of the year. You might get a good laugh out of it anyway. Kind of get a good laugh out of watching me move my hands without any sound at all. Oh, it looks kind of crooked, doesn't it? It's trying to prevent that. Okay, fold that in, and fold that in. Going to go ahead and just tape these. And peel that off of there. No, back up. Put that back on there and hold that tape down. Okay. So before we put this on, or that on, we need to glue 2 of these together. So when you glue these together, line them all up carefully, the holes and the filigree stuff, and glue them all together nicely, and then cut it down about 3/4 of an inch. I don't know why I wrote 1 13/16 on there. No idea. Okay. And then we have our pages here. This is a flippity flop. Oh, flippity flop. Oh, flippity flop. How I love all of these pieces. Oh, flippity flop. Oh, flippity flop. Okay. So this page here is actually the one that is the base of this page. This is a separate flip-flop. So we're going to put the first one down here. And these measure this far. Actually, I'm going to measure it from this side because that's where I put the base piece. Okay, so that measures 4.5 inches. Cut it at 4.5 inches. And you're going to need to cut 2 of those, one for the top and one for the bottom at 4.5 inches. Four and a half. There's one. Let's see if I can line the other one right up with it. And I can cut those off. Okay. So let's apply those two to here. Now we don't want them touching. That would be a different design, wouldn't it? And we're going to glue those down about, so there's just a little edge up there and a little one between them. And a little one down here about the same as up there. And let's apply some glue if I can get it out of there. Oh, glue, where are you? Okay, so let's apply this one up here. It's a little too low. Go back up a little bit. Okay. So there's one. Better burnish that down. Oh, I forgot to bring in my baby wipes. I bought some baby wipes because I heard if you let them dry out, that they clean off the black paper really well. So I wanted to try that out before I told you about it. I don't know if it works or not. Everything's worth a try, right? Okay, getting those a little close. I needed to go up even further on that one. Of course, you could probably tell that from up there. I'm sitting down. I used to do all my crafting standing up, but doing a video, I've got the video camera up there, so it would be kind of hard for me to get up there too. My camera and I would be in each other's way. Okay. Ta-da! Now, we're going to take these beautiful hinges, and I'm not going to double mine up just because it would take extra time, and I really want to squeeze these two videos right together. I know, terrible, isn't it? So I wrote on here 1 13/16. Why did I do that? I don't know. But we're going to measure down You know what? Let's draw a line at the very bottom of your filigree here. When you apply your next page, you're not going to go above that line. From that line, go down a 1/2 inch and cut these off at that length. So let me put those two together, lining up all the filigrees. And since I drew a line, I'm going to go ahead and cut along. No, I'm going to cut at a 1/2 inch. Ah, Angela. See, good thing I didn't glue two of them together. There's one. I have extras. Okay. Let me cut this on my machine over here. 1/2 inch. About a 1/2 inch. There we go. That'll work. Sorry. Oh, we went to breakfast this morning with my husband's sister, and she bought us breakfast. That was so sweet of her. But gosh, it was so good to see her. I don't get to visit with her nearly enough. Okay, we're going to put glue on here. And we're going to apply this one. Really will work better this way. I can kind of gauge how far I'm putting those together. Okay. So we lined that line up under there, right at the base of the filigree. And we're going to do that again. On the other side. Right at the base. Oops. Hard to see black on black, I know. And it looks like I didn't cut that one off quite right. I have to cut it this way. Oh dear. There we go. Okay, that worked. Okay, we have that part. Now let's go in here and put this piece on. So this time you're going to need to cut this piece at goodness, Ange. 4. Let's see. You don't want it to come clear over. You want it to back up a little bit. So there's a little bit of separation. So that when you fold it in, this won't catch on the base or on your belly band. So let's cut it at 4 1/8, maybe. So we're going to fold that. let's see, so 4 1/4. Looks like I must have cut it at 4 1/2 again, because we're going to back it up to here. We'll try it. We'll see what I end up with. 4 1/2. 4 1/2. Right there. Whoops. Oh my goodness. Trying to line them up on my cutting board at the same time. Sometimes it's easier just to line them up side by side. And then sometimes that does not work either. Okay, so that was 4 1/2. You could go 4 3/4 to cut yours. Yes, you could go 4 3/4. And that would still bring it back enough if it came down 1/4 inch more. Okay, so this flippity floppity hoppity hop. This flip flop, or flip, or flop, or it's so hippity hoppity. Okay, I know it's a crazy world. So, but I do like being here with you. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, I know you don't want to hear me sing, but I do like to sing. And my husband's probably glad that I'm singing to you and not to him today. Now, it's just a little too wide right there. Okay. Oh, look at that. Yippity yop. Let's do this one too. We are on a roll today. I am so glad to be filming this, because I've been worried sick about it since I got everything running out there and discovered that I had missing videos, and I was just absolutely sick to my stomach about it. So I'm glad to be here talking to you, getting this done for you, and just feeling successful today. Okay, now let's move on to this and glue down our base paper. Okay? Now I'm not going to do that because I still need to, I have these tags left for the book, and I hope to save them. I'll tell you, I did redo the very first book, the very first one we walked through. I told you there was some problems with it, and as we've made this album, we've fixed those problems. You know, like stiffening the hinges with book cloth. And I fixed the spinal hinges so that they folded correctly, because I was off a 1/2 inch on my very first book measurements, but the book we have done together is correct. Anyway, this paper would normally go down right now, so put your paper down. Place the paper, please. Okay. Then we go to our belly band. Okay. I'll just put the paper down. So I am going to use something to semi-glue it down. Got a glue dot on me. Okay, so we place the paper down. And if you want to ink it before you place it down. I'm not going to ink this one because I'm going to try and save these pages. Okay, so then we take this piece here, the belly band we previously made, peel off those beautiful papers, off the score tape, fold that one in, a little bit of glue, find about your middle, make sure it's straight across. If you want, you can mark the middle of your paper. I'm going to eyeball mine. And run it under there. Okay. Now, we've got those. So now we're going to work on the closure. Now the closure is like this, my dear. Doing, doing, doing. Okay, on the one end, now we're going to score this correctly. We're going to score it 1/2 inch and 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 and 3/4. Okay. Line that up good. 1/2 and 3/4 because we want 1/4 inch space in there so that we can add photos into our album. And on the other piece of paper, which, by the way, are cut at 2 1/4 inch wide. I haven't figured out the length yet because I'm going to measure it against my book to see how I want to do it. Score the other one at 1/2 and 3/4. Okay. Fold your 1/2 and 1/4, or 1/2 and 3/4. Oh, I heard the garbage truck today. Okay. So see there? We have our 1/2 and 3/4. There. Okay. Now we're going to also center that. Now you can, if you would like, before you apply this to here, go ahead and lay it down flat and put in your little piece of paper here. If you do that right now, it will save you from having to do it when it's on that base page. And flip it over and put it here also. Save this. Don't put anything on the top of this one yet. Okay. Now we're going to figure out how long we want it. Now on this one, I brought it down, about midway to this bottom envelope. And I lined them up so that they came in between these two scroll works. Okay? So let's say right about here's midway. And we know that because right about here we have these two hearts and a centerpiece we can kind of follow to give us a mark on where our halfway mark is. So that one is the top. This one is going to be the bottom. Just in case it has to be a little longer or shorter, we're going to go ahead and give them names. And this one, this is about the center here. So let's cut that one off and that one off at those center points. One there. And voila. One there. Hope I didn't cut them wrong. Nope. Perfect. Okay. Let me put that back over there. Okay. Let's do some magnet placement. No. Yes. Let's decide where we want them. Now, I want my magnet on top of this one and on the base of this one. And I really want to put two here and two up here. Now before I had a nice little thing all figured out for you. In my other video, I had measurements galore for you. Had it all written down, and now that's all gone. Oh, I just don't know. Crazy stuff happens. Don't know why, but sometimes it does. Okay. I'm going to crease that a little better. I'm going to crease that one a little better. The reason I'm doing that is because I want them to be nice and straight on the ends. Now it won't go all the way up to the edge here. Due to the fact that we have that belly band under there, that ribbon, it creates a little bit of a problem there for us. But we would just work around it. So let's go up a ½ inch from here, a ½ inch over here. Yeah. ½ inch. And let's draw a line across there. Well, just need them in a couple areas. And then let's go in a ½ inch and draw another line right there. Let's go up this way and do a ½ inch also. Might not make sense yet, but it will. And I want you to draw, let's see, this actually needs to be on the other side. This is the top. We want our magnets underneath this one because they're going to go on top of this one. Okay. 1/2 inch, my dears. Going over to the back side of the paper, please. 1/2 inch. Draw a line. One squeaky clean line coming up. Okay. 1/2 inch in here. And 1/2 inch here. So we've gone up 1/2 inch and we've come in 1/2 inch on each side. Come over here and make another 1/2 inch mark. This is why I don't normally give measurements, because it's so hard to tell how each person is going to line up their ruler, whether or not we're going to be off from each other's measurements by a 1/16 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch. It can make a big difference in a mini album, or even, you know, a junk journal if you're trying to get something in a specific spot. Okay. So now if this one goes up 1/2 inch, or goes down, let's go ahead and put our measurements. They're going to be on the top of this one. So make your 1/2 inch mark on both sides. There we go. And then measure in 1/2 inch right there. Right there. I'm going to go ahead and draw a line because I'm just not sure where it's going to end up at. Where my magnets are going to end up at. Draw another little line. Oh! I had that one so close. Okay. All right. Okay. So, if these 2 1/2 inches were to match up under here, where would they be? And the best way to do that is how do we do it so that we are accurate and have our magnets matching up perfectly? Because if the magnets don't match up really well, then things are all wonky on the page, and we don't want wonky. Okay. So right about there, and they're a little hard to adjust because that ribbon is in there. I think what I can do is say that my 1/2 inch, this piece, is going to come out right about there. Okay. Let's see if that's right. Okay, so this one, that one's going to go there. Oh, goodness. I really don't want them to get off. And this one is going to come here. So that is 2 11/16. So come over to the other side and make a mark at 2 11/16. That's 3 11/16. Maybe that is 3. Oh, we're measuring line to line. I'm sorry. Yes. Sorry about that. 2 11/16. I wondered why my measurements didn't come out right. Okay. So we have a mark here. And we have a mark right here. Those do not look like they are in the same place. 2 11/16. Right there. It's because I didn't measure right. So it does go right above that. I knew they looked off. Now they look right. Okay. Let's make sure that one is the same. Very close. We are going to make it the same. Two 11/16. And 2 11/16. There we go. Ta-da! Magnets. That's where they're going to go. Before we apply them, we're going to apply these. You will put your paper, your designer paper, on top here and on the bottom of this one. Don't place them here yet. Now is the time to also make your stub cuts in your paper if you want to do that. On the original one I did do stub cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and make them here. Remember to make them in your designer paper also. Okay. So, I gotta take these off here. They keep mixing me up. Whenever I see that X marks a spot, I think, okay, put a magnet right there. Okay. So, let's, oops, let's not do it that way. I am going to place this one down. Oh, nope, not yet. Before you place them down, get your book cloth and let's see. It only needs to cover a little bit here. It doesn't need to cover the whole chamois. There we go. Now it should cover side to side, of course. And glue this on. I should have had to glue these on inside before I had to cover those little spots. I'm sorry. Anyway, now we can cover this little 1/4 inch pocket there, or hinge area. Okay, get your bends in there on your 1/4 inch, and then you'll have to go back over on to the middle and press that book cloth in there. Okay, you will put the book cloth on both hinges so that it strengthens them up. Now is time to apply your paper on the underside of the bottom one after you've placed your hinge. Okay, so now I'm going to apply the glue here. Sorry, I have to try and do this a shortcut way to get you there. But it is fairly easy to do, and you should have it pretty much figured out. I'm going to try and line that up there good. Well, now it is going to feel a little bit wonky for a little bit. A little wobbly here and there until we get things nice and lined up. Oh, and see, there it goes. Oh, I know why, because that fabric is under there. And you may have to use a little Fabri-Tac on it. Because you're applying book cloth and Fabri-Tac and lace ribbon together. So that is the problem. So you may need to have some Fabri-Tac to put those together. Let's see if I can. Let's open this up this way. So you're going to have to get underneath this belly band. Make sure there's no glue. Get under your belly band here and work that glue in. There we go. I think we have it. Press it down good. Okay, let's go ahead and get this other one put on. Now it is hard to see, but we want to line these two bands up. And once again, let's use the Fabri-Tac glue because it will glue paper, but it also glues fabric. Hence Fabri-Tac. But it will glue it to that. So we're lining these up again. We want to keep a nice straight edge here. Once we get them lined up good, let's open it up and give it a good press down on both sides first, and then go inside here. Press, 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 press. Fabri-Tac takes a little longer to dry than our beautiful art glitter glue, but this works beautifully well as well. So they're both exceptional glues and work great for paper craft. Okay, now let's tuck that back under there. Let's find 4 magnets. Here is 4. Here are 4 that I took out of the old binder. The very first one I showed you in the flip through, the walkthrough. Somebody wanted to buy that one, but I didn't want to sell it because when we did our initial walkthrough, I discovered some mistakes I'd made in it. Well, I've gone back since, and it has been fixed. Oh, goodness, these do not want to come apart. Okay. I'm going to have to give those a soak in something warm, I think. I'm attaching them to my post over there. And we're going to just use 4 new ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there they are. They ran around to the other side and adhered themselves. Okay. I need Zots. Where's my Zots? Here we go. Okay. I'm going to put one there. Oh, you know what? I think we need 8. Okay, I'm going to have to use these. I'm going to have to do it. Okay. So I've applied them to my Zots. And I'm going to cut my Zots apart. Ah, look at that, it sticks together. Okay, on the base piece where we have our lines facing up at us, apply your magnets to the centers where the X marks the spot. I love Zots for this reason only. Well, not only. I love Zots. I've always loved Zots. Zots and dots. Okay, okay. Oh. I'm trying to make a mess. Normally I get these clipped apart better than what I did today. Okay, making sure this is nice and straight up and down. Same way over here. Lining up the sides. On both sides, top to bottom. Press those down. So the Zots sit here. Carefully. Oh, those are those magnets that are stuck together because of coming out of another book. So they're already glued together. They have glue on them, that's why they're being stubborn. So anyway, I have went ahead and applied these on those X marks the spots over here. It's hard to move them around. Once the Zots set down, they are in a spot. Okay, I want you to put a little bit of tape on each one of those. Just like that. Don't get your tape over the edge here. Now, cut out your next pieces of paper and glue them on those. And then you'll have page boy, my first video was so much better than this one. I am so sorry. This is coming along like it is. It's just weird. It is. Going to save that for another page, for another album. So I'm going to go ahead and apply those tape. Apply this tape to each one of the magnets. Good idea, huh? That's why I didn't want to fully apply paper to this, because I don't really need to make a third and fourth page of the same album. There we go. Perfect. And go ahead and apply all your little pockets, photo mats, whatever you would like. Decorate the page beautifully well. And then stamp it if you like. Whatever your heart desires, whatever comes to you, you can do. And that will be beautiful. Okay. So there we have it. So I'm going to take a quick coffee break. And then I will be back to show you page 7? No. 6. This is 5. We're going to do page 6. Okay, so this is 5. We're going to go over here and do page 6. So we'll go over that when we get here. And we get to make these frames again out of our own lace. Okay. So I will be right back. I'll see you in a little bit. Bye-bye.